Welcome to this LEX 18 Digital Conversation. I'm Dia Davidson. Frontier Nursing University was founded in 1939 by Mary Breckenridge. She had a vision of educating nurse midwives to improve the health care of women and families in rural America. FNU has since grown to become one of the largest not-for-profit universities in the United States for advanced nursing and midwifery education. Joining me to talk about the university is Dean of Nursing, Dr. Joan Slager. Dr. Slager, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the programs and specialties that the university offers.
We specialize in educating advanced nurse practice clinicians, specifically family nurse practitioners, certified nurse midwives, and we just were credentialed to offer a psych mental health nurse practitioner master's degree.
Did you notice that there was a growing need for especially the psychological component as well now?
Yes, mental health care providers are really a huge gap in the workforce, and so we could literally admit 10 times as many as we can right now.
Oh, wow.
So the need is very high.
What are some of the qualifications that you look for when you're reviewing applicants for admission?
We are looking for basic qualifications is an unencumbered registered nurse license. And then we are looking for people that primarily are interested in serving underserved populations, vulnerable populations, and rural communities.
Right, because that's where the greatest need that you're seeing now.
And that's our mission. That is how Mary Breckenridge funded the university, is to take care of those people who had difficulty accessing care.
But a lot of these individuals are working or maybe can't get to your facility, so you offer distance learning. Talk about that a little bit.
We do. We were actually on the forefront of distance learning. I was in the first class of the distance program.
Okay.
And we did everything by telephone and wrote
the
papers.
old-fashioned way.
Yes, we had telephone trees, not chat rooms.
Okay.
So we submitted papers in manila envelopes where you put a tape across the flap and signed it, and had exams proctored by someone who signed that you didn't use any materials. It's way more sophisticated now. But the impetus was, if we could keep people in their communities and they were able to keep working and not uproot their families, we could actually create a workforce that could be in those more remote areas and serve those populations.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how the students actually get hands-on advanced experience, because they are still working in their communities, but to get that extra that they need in order to get the degree.
Well, they come into our organization and do a one-week orientation. And that's where we teach them how to be a distance learner, how to use our systems, and we also create a culture of community. Community is really important in distance education, otherwise you tend to feel rather isolated.
Right.
So we bring them in and do a week of orientation. Then they do approximately a year, a little bit longer than that, in didactic education.
What's that?
That's the book learning.
Okay.
That's where they study and take exams and write papers.
Right.
Then they go into their communities, and usually the students identify a site or sites in their community where they can work with a licensed clinician and learn those clinical skills working with patients. Before we do that, we bring them back to the university and teach them some basic physical assessment skills, hand skills like suturing, so that they feel prepared. And then they do a number of months, usually about 6 to 9 months, of practical clinical education, often in their own community.
So we're talking about until a 2-year program?
Just about 2 years for the master's program, and that depends on if you can go full-time or if you have to go part-time. Almost all of our students are working.
Yes.
So the distance program is amenable to them continuing to meet other obligations like family and work.
What about financial assistance? Any financial assistance?
Yes, they can qualify for federal student loans, and our tuition is highly competitive.
Right, right. Well, now, the midwifery program, a lot of individuals are seeking that now in tandem with their OBGYNs, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Midwives are helping to fill in a workforce gap. There just aren't enough women's healthcare providers to meet all of the needs, and they like the midwifery approach.
It's more personalized, do you think?
Personal, you have a relationship with your midwife that's usually participatory. You get to share in planning your care rather than having it prescribed for you. And the midwives tend to stay with patients that are in labor and support them. And we ask them what they want out of the experience rather than making it convenient for us.
And there's typically some type of ability to connect with a doctor to have just in case.
Absolutely. We don't go to the yellow pages and start looking for help when we need it.
Right.
All nurse midwives, according to our guidelines, have a relationship with a physician that can be used for consultation, collaboration if we need to share management of a patient, or as a referral.
Okay, sounds good. How have you seen the university grow over the 25 years of your experience with it?
It's grown tremendously in the last 25 years. First of all, it changed from being on site in Leslie County in Hayden, Kentucky, and it is now completely distanced. And we have grown to, when I went into the program, our class had about 12 to 15 students, and we now have over 2,300 students.
Wow. Are you seeing men coming into the nursing field as well?
We do. We have men in all of our specialties, including the midwifery.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's outstanding. But we talked about the distance learning and that you were hubbed in Leslie County. You're moving a little closer here to Lexington now, aren't you?
We are. We're going to be just down the road in Versailles, Kentucky. The property became ours last summer, and we are undergoing a major facelift.
Wow.
A lot of reconstruction and remodeling and a couple of new buildings.
So now, will you also be still hubbed in Leslie County, or will the whole operation come to Woodford?
The whole operation will come to Woodford County.
Oh, wow.
And we will maintain Mary Breckenridge's home as a bed and breakfast in Wendover.
How outstanding. Talk a little bit about your faculty. How would you rate them?
Well, of course, I'm biased, but I would say they're the best.
Yes.
Our faculty is all over the country. They are remote as well.
Okay.
So that helps with students in different time zones.
Sure.
And they all must be doctorally prepared. Okay. So they must have a Doctor of Nursing Practice or a PhD in order to be didactic faculty. Right. And then we have clinical faculty that are the liaisons or conduits between the student and our clinical sites and the university. So we have some oversight and contributions into the clinical education and supporting our preceptors.
How outstanding. It's very exciting stuff going on, isn't it?
It's very exciting. It's a great
Anything
time.
that you're looking towards the future?
Well, we want to grow our psych mental health program. Again, the need is beyond our capacity right now, so we're working to grow that. And we hope to use our facilities in Versailles to be able to have meetings and conversations about improving healthcare and advances in healthcare and meeting the needs, especially of those vulnerable and underserved populations.
Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for watching this LEX18 Digital Conversation. For more digital conversations, just log on to lex18.com. Until next time, I'm Dia Davidson.